Hey, good morning, everyone. We're at the Onsite Renovation Group getting ready to get started. Today's May 15th, 2018. We're at 859 Custer Street in Hapeville. My name is Dustin Griffin. I'm here with DeRosa, Andy Bloch, and Joshua Sledge. This is their renovation project. We visited this project back in December before much work had been done. So in just a little bit, Andy's going to show us some before pictures of the property, and also you can go back and watch the Onsite Renovation Group replay of the December event. In fact, it's on the top of the Atlanta REIA homepage right now. It can also be found on the Onsite Renovation page on atlantareia.com. But before we get started, I want to remind you that we are now meeting twice a month at the Onsite Renovation Group. We're meeting on the first and third Tuesday at noon. The first and third Tuesday. Also, if you have any questions throughout the broadcast, you can send them in via the Facebook comments. And then you can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/AtlantaREIA. Excuse me, facebook.com/OnsiteAtlanta. Facebook.com OnsiteAtlanta. And for more information, just check out the Atlanta REIA website. It's onsite.atlantareia.com. All right, so we're getting ready to get started. Again, we're here in Hapeville. Don DeRosa just walked in. Hey, what's up, Don?
Hello. To the mic?
Yeah, right here. So talk towards that. Did you bring your Sennheisers?
No.
Okay. So Andy's got the other lav. So when I'm talking to you or talking at you, just talk right into this.
Okay.
Warm center. Okay, gotcha.
Can you turn it on there?
Turn it on.
All right. It's green. It should work now.
Yeah, I can hear you. You sound great. You sound really good. All right, everybody, welcome to the Onsite Renovation Group. This is the second time we've actually met here at this particular property. We've also met down here in this neighborhood at several other properties. Josh has a couple we've met at. Sherry Meek had a property we met at a few months ago. So there's a lot of activity going on down here. And when we go inside just a little bit, how many of you guys were here back in December at this property? A few of you. Well, inside, we're going to show you some pictures of the before. You can even pull up on Google Earth and see what an ugly little house this was. And you see some of the before pictures inside. But this is the Onsite Renovation Group. We're now meeting twice a month on the first and third Tuesday for folks like yourself who want to learn how to fix and flip properties. This is a great place to learn from other experienced investors and new investors as well. This is Andy's first rehab, believe it or not, and it's a major one. But luckily he's got some help. This young man right over here, Joshua Sledge, wave to us, Josh. So this is not definitely a project that you would want to take on by yourself. Josh has got years of experience, so they're doing this together. Otherwise, it can be really painful.
Absolutely.
For sure. So I wanted to kind of step out. For those of you that don't know what I'm carrying, this is a phone. We're doing Facebook Live. If you guys want to say hello to everybody at home who's watching. And because we record this, you too can watch the replay later if you have to cut out early or something. And you can go back and watch the replay that we did in December with this house. We spent about 2 hours walking through it, talking about the plans. And it's on the top of the Atlanta REIA homepage today or on the Onsite page. But I just wanted for the folks at home to step out here behind you and get a front shot of the house before we get started, just to see what kind of progress has been made. If they saw the little shotgun shack that was here before, wow, what a transformation. And you guys can look around and kind of see the neighborhood. Rehab next door, rehab here, rehab here. This one doesn't look rehabbed, neither do these two. So there's still work to be done. That one over there looks quite nice. So Andy, I asked everybody to raise their hand who was had been here before. Only a few hands went up.
Yeah.
So let's kind of start back at the beginning and maybe recap some of what you told us back then.
Sure.
First question was, how did you find this property?
We actually got it from a local real estate agent there called Josh, and then so we jumped on the opportunity. This was nothing marketing related that we did. We were just yeah, getting the call.
Right place, right.
Right place, right time. Josh had already done a couple of projects around here,
Yeah.
so he's got a little bit of a name, and that I guess helped too.
Yeah. In fact, we've got to go back and see a couple of years, Josh. I know you had a new one you just picked up, I believe, and tore down.
We got one right over there that we just picked up, and we just bought another one we poured.
Yeah.
Okay, I heard you had one that you tore down and are going to build a couple houses on it. So yeah, we've got to schedule another onsite to go see a few of your properties. Yeah.
Doing this one for.
Four rehabs? Wow. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. Lots of sleepless nights.
All right, yeah, I'm sure. Ask us how we know. So, what did you end up picking this house up for?
$105,000.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was just a ranch-style home. I've got some pictures on the inside too. I mean, it was pretty dilapidated. We walked
To say the
in.
least.
Yeah, the flooring was bowing. It was rotted away. We had to essentially replace everything. And it was a combination of two properties sort of fused together. The front part and obviously the back part had one bedroom in it, a kitchen, and sort of like a living room area.
Yeah.
And we decided to knock the entire wall out, obviously pop the top out on the second floor. And this is sort of what this.
Yeah, originally, wasn't there like an apartment around back that you had to go outside to get to?
It was a weird setup.
It was.
Basically on the right-hand side, you had to go to the back. There was a couple of folks living in here. On the front, we had, how many bedrooms were in here? Two?
One bedroom in the front.
One bedroom in the front, okay.
Yes, technically one bedroom in the back, but they made it 2 bedrooms.
Yeah. So, 3 bedrooms, but it's just a very weird floor.
Functionally obsolete. I remember it.
Completely obsolete.
I remember the way the back went up and went down and
Yeah.
around. Yeah.
And you'll see parts of it now too, because we're converting the back to make it a real garage.
And Don, you didn't have the pleasure of seeing this back then, so you got to check out the pictures. But it was quite the project for sure. So you paid $105 for it.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what you've put in it as of yet, but what were your original estimates? What was your original plan for this, and have they had the plans changed since then?
They have changed. I think originally we thought we were going to put 130 in it.
No. 137 to the contractor plus the 10 grand we did for the demo.
Okay. All right. So he's a number guy. He'll tell you.
Repeat it one more time.
147. So 147.
147.
147 was the original budget.
Okay.
And
What was the original plan? What were you going to do with this original? Because I don't, and maybe I just forgot, I don't remember you talking about popping the top back then.
No, that was the plan as well. We did have that plan
Okay.
already. We had an architect.
You know what? You're right. I remember those plans. You're right. I'm thinking of another house. Yep.
So you had the architect draw the plans up. What were your costs on plans? A lot of times people want to know how much
plans
$1.50 a
cost?
square foot.
How much?
$1.50 a square foot.
So how many square feet is this?
2,200.
So 20.
Yeah.
$1.50 a square foot, 2,200
$3,500 is what
How
we
much?
paid. 3,500.
3,500.
for the blueprints.
That's, I mean, we already work with an existing sort of, building envelope essentially. We already had some walls up and so forth.
Yeah.
But you can buy some of these plans online for as little as $1,000, $1,500. And they'll make changes for you. Depending on how many changes you're going to make, they charge you extra for that. So it's like a cafeteria plan.
Yeah.
So you can get them a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, because on one of the things I want to do for PPG is I want to have a company come in and talk about that.
Okay.
Because
You got one in
a big
mind?
deal. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, that's...
Yes, I do. Because one of the things that will save you a ton of money and a ton of time is having the right plans. Because if you don't have plans or you try to do it yourself, maybe not so much a house that you got a gut, but if you're moving a few walls and changing the inside, not so much the outside, not popping the top off. If you try to do it yourself, what's going to happen is you're not going to be 100% sure. And you're going to go, well, I think I want this here, and I think I want that there, and I think I want that there. And just by you changing your mind a few times, what's going to happen is you're going to eat up a few $1,000s worth of mistakes. So paying $1,500, $2,000 for a set of plans, for a set of drawings, if somebody comes in, you talk about it ahead of time, and that way you can visualize, especially if you've never done this before. It's hard to visualize something like this if you've never done it before. So to visualize that, you need some assistance. And these guys have done this many times. I mean, that's their business. So they can do a set of plans, and then, like he said, you can make changes to it and say, okay, like the one I'm doing right now, the guy put a door out. Well, I didn't want a door. I want a French door. I don't want a single door. I want a French door. And I didn't want it there. I wanted it over here, so we give more space. So things like that, it really helps to get them situated ahead of time. Because if you don't, it's pay me now or pay me later.
Yep.
And it's far easier from a contractor standpoint to hand them a set of plans and have them go rather than come to you, because a contractor, and we just had this conversation in Tampa, if you have a set of plans, you hand them to your contractor, they know what to do. They know that you're prepared. The cost that they're going to charge you is going to be less because you are prepared. If you're not prepared and you're new, they're going to charge you more because they know they're going to have to babysit you. So I've heard that from several contractors.
Now, speaking of plans, there's also a bunch of permits right there over your shoulder. A lot of people ask about how hard is it to get permits? How long does that take? Can you tell us about some of the permits you pulled in your experience?
Sure, yeah. So, you probably see there's plumbing, electrical permits, roofing permits, variants. I mean, that wasn't a permit, it's like demo permitting.
There's your general contractor, there's your mechanical, that's your HVAC, another general.
Yeah, you got a few permits to
There's
deal
your
with.
plumbing.
So if you start, I mean, this was essentially a project that we started from scratch. It'll take you a couple of months to get through the different committees, get everything approved. The design review, we had to deal with a variance on the left-hand side because you have to have a 5-foot setback.
Yeah.
But there was an existing wall that was within 3 feet. Even though it was already there, we still had to get that variance approved too.
How long did that take?
So officially we bought the property in September.
So it took us 3 months to do the
Yeah.
entire process.
And then
Yeah, because they only meet once a month.
Yeah.
The variance process was added additional months. So
Yeah,
it took us
'cause
3 months.
You said 3 months total?
3 months.
Now, did you do that on your own, or did you get one of those permit expediters? Okay. So
Guys, if you need a variance, just understand one thing. They only meet once, so if you miss it, you gotta wait an entire month. So that delays your project an entire month. So this is the thing.
Just so you understand this process, you have to go through if you want to file a permit or you want to do a design or a variance, you have to file that, and there's a certain day you have to file it. The meeting might be 3 weeks from now, but if you don't file it within the first 3 weeks, you miss it, you go to the next meeting. They're very
Yeah, because
rigid
it goes
about
on
that.
their docket.
Yeah,
When they
and
put it on their docket, it takes time to get on there.
That has to post it for a certain amount of time, and so even though, again, like Andy said, that wall was there, we had to.
So 3 months sounds pretty reasonable, especially considering you did it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, 3 months is decent. Yeah,
Yeah.
you could probably get it done in 2 months, but.
So the other question you need to answer is if you've got hard money, I'm assuming you guys had private individual money, right?
Yeah.
So it's different. But if you have hard money and you're paying 15% and you don't account for that 3 month span, you're paying 3 months worth of interest on $140,000 or whatever you borrowed. And that didn't go into your original budget. So you need to make sure you plan that. That's why when Dustin said, if this is your first one, don't tackle that one on your own. Get somebody that's
Yeah, you should have
done it.
seen this place, man.
Get somebody that's done it before.
Like, thank God he had Josh to help.
Even if you give half of your deal away to somebody, I promise you it's worth every penny. Because you'll learn a ton and you'll get better at it, and you won't make the big mistake that delayed.
Yeah. Question over here.
If you have, can you get an expediter to do it? If so, what would the cost be for getting an expediter, and how much time would it save?
Great question. Can you answer that, Josh?
I've never used an
No, we never use one, yeah.
Now, we've had several of our on-site hosts that do use them. For example, Mike Trawanka. Didn't he say it was about 1,500?
Yeah, I think that's the right number. I mean, didn't you use an expediter?
Yeah, it was including the fence survey I had, it was $1,250.
$1,250. Okay, yeah. So
we're in the ballpark.
1,200, 1,500.
So I mean, does that save you a couple of months at that point, or how does that?
Well, it may not save you a couple of months, but it may save you.
Headaches.
Yeah, it'll say, well, it could, because if you miss the variance deadline, that delays you at least a month, and if you're not paying attention and you miss it again.
And you can kind of focus on what you do best rather than dealing with
So
bureaucrats.
it might be worth an expediter. They know the lay of the landscape, they know the lay
Yeah,
of the
'cause
land down.
I would just say
Portland.
if you're going to get an expediter, make sure you know they've done work in that city.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's no sense paying for their learning curve.
That's right. Because I've heard some parts of Atlanta, Mike's always complaining about East Point, how difficult it's become, the whole permitting process. So,
This point's a pain.
yeah, you agree?
Historic College Park, too.
Yeah. Okay. College Park. Hey.
Historic College Park, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So what has been the biggest challenge?
It's just sticking to timelines. I think the subcontractors, it's the same.
Getting people to show up and they say that.
Yeah. Because Josh and I, we could work from 5 in the morning until midnight, but the subcontractors don't do that, right? So I'm here trying to crack the whip, and it's always sort of, you try to balance it out. How far can you push them until they say, screw this, I'm walking off?
Right.
So it's
Have you
delicate.
had contractors walk off or fire them?
No, one guy sort of quit by himself. What's his name? He went back to Virginia anyways. But
We haven't had anybody that has walked off. We've had a few people that have gotten some heated discussions.
yeah.
Andy's not the nicest guy in the world, so. But like this guy right here,
So you saying he was bad cop and you're a good cop?
Yeah, exactly. We essentially fired this guy right here, the spray foam installation. He was supposed to be here on Monday a week ago. Finally showed up last Friday. He got here, his thing broke down, it didn't work. He sprayed about 3 walls, and then we called another crew, and they came in over the weekend and did it.
So that's his trailer?
That's his trailer, yes.
So don't call that number.
He hasn't picked it up yet.
Don't
so-
call that number.
So if you guys are writing it
I
down,
would not recommend that person as a spray foam guy.
okay.
Is
So,
that the company name?
No, it's GSC. It's got a sign on the other side. Yeah.
Okay, so it's not that company name. Okay.
all right. So we got our first question come in on Facebook. It's from Kamala. She said, "Do you guys do this every month?" Yes. Because you joined a few minutes late, we do this on the first and third Tuesday at noon. The first and third Tuesday at noon, live at a different job site. So we're here in Hapeville today, so thank you for joining in. So I'd like to kind of open it up to the audience to ask any questions. And when you ask questions, try to talk towards the fuzzy mic. Mr. Link.
Andy, if you were doing this on your own without Josh's help, what mistakes would you have made?
I think the biggest part...
Josh, you want to close your ears?
I think the biggest part would have been the permitting process too, because that takes some time to get used to it. We've already mentioned we're working on 3 other projects, and instead of having our contractor go with me, I'm going by myself. So I kind of am sort of fumbling my way through it, you know, learn as you go,
Yeah.
which really helps. I don't mind it at all. But that's the part, Josh had a lot more experience with it, sort of knew what to expect, and that has helped for sure.
Well, speaking about your experience, can you tell these guys how green or not green you are, what your background is, and how you got into this, and how long you've been doing it?
So I've been doing this now for, gosh, almost 15 years, but I've always bought and held properties. So I've got a lot of rental properties, which I've been lucky to fire most attention to. Anyway, so I've been buying and holding, and you deal with minor stuff. You've got plumbing issues, electrical issues, but not a full-on remodeling of a property. So this was brand new to me.
Okay.
But you still deal with subcontractors in the rental properties as well, just not as many. And when the plumber doesn't show up, you just call 5 others, and eventually somebody's going to show up. Whereas here, you're dealing with very delicate timelines. If the plumber doesn't show up, then the electrician can't do certain things.
Right.
The electrician doesn't show up, then the sheetrock can't go in. So everybody's sort of dependent on everyone, and that's why timelines, or sticking to timelines, is so crucial.
So what kind of prompted you to change from buying and holding into fixing and flipping?
I just wanted more heartburn. That's
Yeah.
no.
Less hair, more
No,
heartburn, greater.
So my ultimate strategy is to use more of that money to pay off all of my rental properties, so I can just live off of that.
Yeah.
That's the strategy. But it's starting into truly it's a lot of fun. It really is fun.
It is.
You got to
It
be
is.
bigger than your problems, and you're going to have a bunch of them. But it really is a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is it really like they say, working with contractors is like adult daycare?
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's true. Okay.
Like herding cats.
All right, let's open it
I have a
up.
question. How did these?
Yeah.
How did you guys meet?
Through PBG, actually. Yeah.
They've got a nice bromance going on,
Yeah,
and
we-
they added a third one to the mix here recently.
So
We
you
were
guys
the
all
first
met. You guys
one.
all met then. That's the only place you guys met was PPG.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Keenan has been great at, by the way. So he cuts trees. So he took out a couple of the trees here. Is going to take out a couple of other trees from the other projects too, and even swung a hammer.
Yeah,
or
I
two
saw
on
that.
the property. It was a
So
lot of
Keenan,
fun.
I'm gonna let them give out your phone number real quick about how they reach you if they want a tree down.
678-787-1912.
Is that it on your shirt?
Yeah, BAM tree.
770 BAM tree.
That's
This is
correct.
Keenan.
I appreciate the shout out.
Yeah, it's good seeing you again, man.
So we have 1, 2, 3. Who else is in PPG? Alex, right over there. You're in here, PPG.
Yeah, Alex came out to the.
Alex.
Michael
So-
Bennett,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Michael back here. Forgot.
Alex,
Alex. Who else? Anyone?
Mr. Link admits it from time to time.
You just joined last night.
Yeah,
So
yes, he
if
said.
you're not familiar with what it is, it's Property Protege Group. It's group coaching. You obviously see how these guys met and what these guys are doing. So if you're interested in something like that, we meet every Wednesday. It's tomorrow night at the same place as the general meeting. So if you want to come tomorrow night and check it out, come for free. So James, he's a member of PPG. So I mean, there's quite a few of you here. That's great.
We highly encourage you guys to work together.
But
Make things happen.
basically, if you don't know what it is, it's group coaching. We spend a whole year with you, and this is kind of what you get out of it.
Year or years? Years plural.
Yeah.
Years plural.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys got any questions before we go take a look at the house? Let's go, ladies first.
Can you kind of walk through the timeline? Because he said
Yeah.
he bought in September, and then it took 3 months to permit, and now it's
Yeah.
May. So.
Essentially, we started full on around February. Josh and I, not because we had to, and even Keenan, we just liked the demoing portion of it.
Yeah, you did.
So we took out the walls, and we looked like coal miners at the end of every single
Yeah.
day.
Because
And
we
that was a lot
visited
of fun.
we visited this in December,
Yes.
the
Uh-huh.
third
They bought
Monday
it-
of December. So you
they
said
bought
you
it
didn't really
October
start
30th.
full on till.
Well, it took
February?
us a little while to do the demoing, essentially, too.
So we
Josh.
started October 30th, roughly.
Yeah.
We didn't start the demo until the day after Thanksgiving. So
Yeah.
it was the first day we started, and
I was still in Germany.
months later.
yeah, technically, we basically went through the permitting process, and we got a demo permit, and that allowed us to demo until we
Got the rest.
got the rest of the permits
Yep.
and the design and the variance and all that process.
Now, did you have to do the demo yourself, or did you just enjoy it?
I just enjoyed it. I really wanted to get the full-on experience
Yeah.
from
We used to get pictures
the
every
beginning.
day.
Yeah, we
Yes,
did.
yeah.
So, did it help by you doing it, or did it slow things down?
Well, it probably did slow things down.
No.
Well,
The only reason I ask is
Josh. Josh is just a little older than I am,
Yeah.
and he can't work as hard as I can.
right.
That's part of the problem.
We couldn't get our permits finalized until last week in January. So it was either pay somebody to do the demo or let us do it from November to January.
Okay. Yeah.
And so
Yeah, so every weekend we just come down here and demo.
Yeah.
So, did they answer your timeline question?
So I just kind of wanted to know what's the rest of the timeline. So you started demo,
So we're
and then you
antici-
got your other permits.
Yeah, we anticipate that everything done by the end of June.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's feasible. When you walk in today, you'll see we just finished the spray foam yesterday because, like Josh said, we were delayed by another week. The
So
equipment
45 more days.
Yeah.
Is this the guy hooking up his trailer now?
Oh, yeah. Look at
Whatever
that.
you're talking about.
He probably saw us on Facebook Live. I better go get that trailer before they do something with it.
So the sheetrock is planned on being installed tomorrow. When you do spray foam, you have to have it re-inspected just to make the R value that it's actually up to code, the insulation value. That should happen today, and then the sheetrock will start be put in tomorrow.
And then it's pretty
Exactly, yeah. And then the next thing is painting, flooring, and trim work.
Okay. Did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay. If you get any follow-ups, please follow up, sir.
So I got kind of two questions regarding the demo permit. Since you did it yourself, in order to pull a permit, do you need any type of license to go down and pull a permit?
We use the contractor, yeah.
Not for a demo.
Demo, you can do that as a homeowner. You can pull homeowner permits yourself too.
Okay.
But you have to
can.
live in it.
But technically you have to live in it and it has to be your home.
City of Hapeville requires a GC to pull any permit other than demo permit.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that?
City of Hapeville requires a GC to pull any permit other than a demo permit.
Okay.
So even if you don't live in it, for Hapeville. Okay, other counties you can pull them. You can pull homeowner permits if you are a homeowner.
Okay. So my other question, you guys mentioned that you have a couple other projects that's going on in the neighborhood.
Yes, they do.
Surrounding area.
Yeah.
Are you using the same general contractor? Is that not advisable?
Yes and no. In the order of your questions.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you have to kind of see how you get along with the contractors, right? Timelines and so forth. It is challenging. It really is.
You want to use contractors. Here's the problem with using the same contractors on multiple jobs. They don't focus on this one. They focus on this one a little bit, and then they go do that one a little bit, and then you have to understand a contractor's mentality for cash flow. Okay. Well, if you do a draw system, you guys do a draw system?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, how many?
We do it based on the different components, so it's different for different projects.
So like
10 to 12.
10 to 12. Okay. Some people will do 10 to 12 draws. That means that they have. You heard him say components. So they have to finish something in order to get paid for that. It's not like, hey, I'm here on Friday and today's Friday, I want paid. No, you don't get paid unless you finish whatever is that draw component. Okay? Some people do 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 draws. Other people do 10 or 12 draws.
Troy does every Friday.
I see.
Yeah.
He's got his own crews.
But yeah, I was going to say, the difference between that is he's got his own crews. So the thing is, if you do like a 4 or 5 component draw, see, theirs are longer, so the contractor gets paid more often. He gets paid less, but he gets paid more often. But if you do a 4 or 5 draw system, they have to finish a lot more. So if they're out of money, what contractors tend to do is they'll go get another job to get another draw to get paid. Well, by them doing that, it just automatically dilutes the amount of time they spend here. And that's what you see with contractors if they're doing multiple projects. And most of them do multiple projects, you just may not know it.
So finding a good contractor seems like it's a pretty big challenge.
It is.
For those who are new, like myself, is there like a database that Atlanta REIA uses, or?
There are some recommendations, but even if I recommend, or even if they were to recommend, it's difficult for an investor to recommend their contractor because of the reasons I just said.
Yes, that's understandable.
Because if they recommend them to you and you got a house over here, or even if you have a house inside Atlanta, right? Maybe in the city of Atlanta. Well, they've just now given you a contractor and they've taken that contractor off of their job.
But I mean, what you could do is, as an idea, is if you drive into a neighborhood where you see there's a lot of flipping activity going on, or you want to be in, you'll see these permits in there too. So you can see who the contractors are. And that's another way to possibly approach them too and say, hey, I'm looking for somebody. Once you're finished with this one, can we have coffee and talk about it?
That's how I got mine in order.
Yeah, and you can actually see what kind of work they're doing, the quality work they're doing. So you'll meet some of them here at these meetings. There's one here now. But most of these, the contractors will show up. I think we have at least a couple contractors here today. Wave. So you'll meet a few. But like I said, just asking for referrals, people that are willing to share that information and share their opinions with you and what they think about these folks is invaluable. Well, just come around, get involved, and like I said, visit some different job sites. You'll meet a lot of good folks.
And I've used Alex too a couple of times on my rental properties too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
He's being shy over there. Say hi, Alex.
He's got over here.
Giving you a shout out.
How you doing?
He's working on one of our projects right now over in Snellville.
Yep. Two
Yep.
of them, actually.
Yep.
One in Decatur, one in Snellville.
Okay.
Well, you just finished the one in Decatur, right?
Yeah. No, I haven't done anything on the
But you're not allowed to get his number. You're not allowed to get his number for the reasons we just described. All right, question right here.
You know what? I noticed you said you guys are all over the place. It's getting a little frustrating for me. I'm trying to focus on one area, but I'm not getting enough deals to really sustain the business. So I noticed she mentioned she has one in Lawrenceville. So I'm all the way up in Lawrenceville. I'm in East Point. I'm in Decatur. Do you guys focus on a particular area, or just wherever the deals are?
Now, before you answer that question, I'll say something. I noticed the raindrops are starting to come down. Do you guys want to move inside? Yeah.
Okay.
So hold that question for 1
I'll answer
second.
that question, and I'll let Josh
Let's
answer
get these
it.
guys inside out of the rain if you don't mind. Then we'll take that first question.
I'll answer it, and then I'll let Josh answer
So we can hang out here on the front porch for a few minutes. We can go inside. It's up to you. Follow you in? Let me follow these guys in real quick. Now hold that thought, Don, because that's a good question. But can you repeat that question again, just for those of us who got distracted?
Well, I'm finding myself all over the place. Like one day I may drive from Lawrenceville. I have something stationed to do in Lawrenceville, and I have some properties in the East Point. As experienced flippers, I've been in there for about 2 to 3 years. I've probably done like 8 properties now. Do you guys focus on a particular market, or are you just looking for wherever the deals are?
Okay, I can tell you my experience, but I'll also tell you Josh, and I can let him tell you, Josh, but I'll tell you mine first, and then when he comes up front, I'll tell you what. If you're brand new, you don't have the experience. You don't have like. You can find like this area right here. He does a lot here. These two do a lot here, and they get known for that. Other flippers or wholesalers and renovators like Cherwinka, he does stuff in the city in a very small, concentrated area because people know him. And once you get 1 or 2 houses that do well for you, then you can start really hammering that area and stay in that area. But if you're brand new at this, you don't know what area to start in. That's the problem. The problem is you don't know where to start. It's like, okay, do I start here? Do I start in the neighborhood across the street? Do I start inside in Atlanta? If you're brand new, you just got to start somewhere. And usually you're putting some kind of marketing out there to get whatever your first deal is. And you're going to go wherever that is. Like I do stuff in Lawrenceville. I'm not an in-town kind of guy. Most of my stuff is Snellville, Lawrenceville, outside of the perimeter. Bless you. Thank you. Outside the perimeter, that's me. So when I do something like in Lawrenceville, if I do something, we try to buy in the neighborhood that we're in. We'll canvass the whole neighborhood while we're there. And we may get 2 or 3 deals over the next few months in the neighborhood that we started. And I'm guessing that's how these guys get these deals. And he said he's got another one over here, and then he had one over there, and so on and so forth. Because he's been here. How long you guys been here? Since October, right?
Yeah. Well, Josh even longer. Yeah.
Right, but Josh focuses on this area, but he's been doing this business what, 20 years? You didn't always.
I didn't do rehabs for 20 years, but yeah, I
Right.
started rentals 20 years ago.
Okay, so here, let me switch places with you. So you could tell them why, like how you got to the point where you're concentrating in a very small area.
So I started in Hapeville just on a lark. Somebody said, hey, there was a property that we felt we might want to rehab, so we started that rehab. That was about 3 years ago, and then from there, we had a neighbor drive by and say, hey, we've got a property that we would like to sell. We bought that house, and then we went from there, and we started doing a little bit of marketing, and we've got a property where somebody sold us 5 properties, a couple of lots and some properties, and so we've just kind of expanded there. And then again, a real estate agent was in the area, drove by, said that they had this property, and it was a family that had passed away and the son didn't want the house, and we took this house over. And then we had a person across the street over here got in trouble with the real estate investment, and we bought this janky old house over here that we're about to start, and then we bought another house. How do we get the Walnut House?
That I saw it on the Georgia MLS actually.
Yeah. So it's just been different for different ways. we put our, until Andy put his real estate down on it, we buy houses out here, and we get calls on it all the time, and we send out every grade direct mail. And
when you finally get a rehab that you're working, because I mean, these guys have been working on it since October, they're here all the time. So if people are driving, you should put a sign, we buy houses in the front yard. As soon as you close on it, boom, down goes the sign. Because they've been here for months, people drive up and down, they see, especially if you get a nice product, they've taken this and they've made this house look from a piece of crap to this really nice house. People see that and they go, oh wow, these guys know what they're doing.
Yep, we'll give them two examples. One is the, you can get the 6x2 vinyl banners. They roll up. And the second example, give them David's example down in Tampa.
So I think it's a 3 foot by 4 foot sign, and he literally puts it in the yard with posts. I mean, it's not permanent, but it's
semi-permanent. Looks professional.
And it just says another renovation by, and then whatever their branding is. In his case, it's the color scheme, the name, and his logo.
And it's really bright lime green.
Yeah, it's
like he's wearing like really bright orange. It's bright lime green.
It's kind
of like this.
It's like neon green.
It's like neon green, like this.
It's neon. It's like a.
And it stands out really well. So you drive through this neighborhood, and you should be doing the same thing, Josh. You drive through the neighborhood, you see like 5, 6 of his signs, just over and over and over, and they bring the deals to him.
Right. So
you want to buy my house and fix it up?
They see that sign.
So I highly recommend you do that.
Okay.
For sure.
Even if it's your first deal, you can still say another home buy, and then your company. That's why we teach. Yeah, we teach. Yeah. But somebody said keep getting the We Buy House signs.
I told you that your We Buy House sign kept coming down.
So we need the big one now.
That we like plant in the yard for sure. Absolutely.
Just be careful on the sign ordinances. There's some cities that are pretty strict.
What's on your own property though?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's Snellville. I think
Florida's different, probably.
I think it's a competitor taking ours down.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're gonna ask for forgiveness.
There you go.
We'll just ask for forgiveness.
Don't do it in Snellville?
Yeah.
I got a $4,000 sign there in my house.
Not a big sign as large as this.
Okay.
3 by 4?
Yeah, don't do it.
How big? Like a realtor size?
Realtor size will be fine.
Yeah.
And if it's like one of those carriage posts with a hanging sign.
That's kind of what I'm referring. Yeah, if we can't do a big one, we can do one like that.
I wouldn't do the great big one. No.
Okay. I have one. I have a carriage post.
Okay. Yeah, we sure do.
Because right now everybody in the city's your friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they got.
Also,
we want to keep it that way too.
There you go.
We want to keep it that way.
Also, homeowners associations will have problems with signs.
Well, I think that's why they keep taking it.
I thought it was the competitors taking it.
I think that's why they keep
If
Yeah.
there's an HOA, that may also be.
There's no HOA.
I just thought it was another investor taking them.
Yeah.
Could be neighbors taking them down there on signs. Could be the county. Could be whoever.
Yeah.
I think it depends on the area. I know there was a barbecue place I used to go to on Lawrenceville Highway. And I said, there's new ownership. You guys need to put a smoker out there and a little sign of the name of your company. I said, we can't. They won't let us. Their own place, their own parking lot.
Yep.
Milburn would let them.
Yep. Kind of back to your question, you were asking about certain areas. That's why I like to point out Mike Chwank and these guys. They're working certain areas over and over and over again, setting their own comps, and the neighbors and people are bringing them deals. So if you can find a pocket like that you can work hard and farm, you'll do quite well. But it does take a little bit of ramp-up time for sure.
I mean, how long did it take you, Josh, to get in a neighborhood like this?
A year. So going through the process.
But you started with one house.
Yeah. I got 11 now that we've got.
But that's what I'm saying. Within a year, you got 11 houses, right?
That way I can get you guys all in the shot.
Within a year, you got 11 houses, but he started
Reality
with
TV,
one.
baby.
Okay. Before that, he was. I don't say you were.
But I wouldn't suggest ramping up unless you just got a lot of money, unless you got other income to offset that. My thing is I started in rentals. I've got 25 rental properties that help offset some of my cash flow issues of doing this rehab stuff.
Yep. Plus you got a really good private lender as well that helps.
Yep.
Where you don't have to pay the hard money rates, things like that.
I do not pay hard money rates.
Well, since we're inside now to get out of the sprinkles, can you kind of tell us what's original, what's new? Is there any old leftover part of the house still here?
There's about 24 studs that are still original, essentially.
Can you see them?
Everything else is
Can you
pretty
tell?
much new.
The dark wood is the original wood. That's the only thing that's original.
And then you've got the backside that we're going to use as the garage. Those brick walls are original too.
I remember that step down over there.
Yeah, and we've got some pictures too that you can look at, after we're done to kind of see what.
Well, hey, since I'm talking about before and what we see now, why don't you kind of show us, do some real quick.
Before he does that, before he leaves, I have a question. I look around and this, I've never done the spray in foam. Looks pretty cool.
I want to do it.
I noticed it too, yeah.
It looks pretty cool.
Lawn. I want to get lawn.
Okay. I want to know, I don't know if the rest of you want to know, what's the difference? I mean, I usually do, whatever the.
So the back
regular
would have been
installation.
roughly 35, and we just really want to set us apart.
Super energy efficient.
Yeah.
Exactly. You can save up to 50% on your energy bill. So I know they're not going to initially see that, but we'll push that on the list.
That was what I was going to ask. If they can't see it, how will you wow them?
Exactly. I mean, that will be mentioned in the listing. We're going to have some brochures and stuff. Because, yeah, if you're spending extra...
For you folks at home, we lost our connection there for a second. And I had to come back outside to reestablish a good internet signal.
Are you getting double the R value out of it? So the R value in here is, I think it's like R20 or R25 in the walls. It's
And R30 goes in the attic, right?
yeah. So
Versus what is normal.
I think, what was it, 13? Or
R12
13
or
goes in the walls,
Yeah.
and 30 in the attic.
Are there any tax rebates for doing that?
It's a good question. We should go look into that.
We can look into it.
Yeah.
I've heard there can be, I don't know about the insulation, but there's lots of rebates being offered for different efficiencies, windows and.
That's a good question, yeah. I'll look into it.
You guys gonna turn this into a smart home?
We'll see.
Yeah.
Depends on the funding.
You're doing all the wows inside the walls,
Yeah.
but.
That would have been fun. Yeah, LED lights. You want to show me some of the pictures there?
Yes, I do.
Before and after, or can I?
Yep.
Let me see if I can bring this one out.
And you guys can gather around as best you can. But if you haven't been here before, I'd love for you to see how this house looked before. Just so you can appreciate how much work and effort they're putting into this.
Just throw it up here.
Yeah, let me see. I'm just going to do...
Yeah, I figure we get a better angle over here somehow or another.
In 1 second, I just have to get the internet connection going, and then I can load it.
Okay.
Kenny, maybe I need to get a little closer here, but this is the ranch style. Let me see if it loads out. Of course it doesn't.
If it doesn't, we can stall for a second while you want to get your internet running. You get while he's blowing these pictures up for you guys. Got any questions we can be answering?
I have a question.
Yeah, right here.
So, you guys been pretty much working for like 7 or 8 months in this house. Of course, it's a full gut and everything. And for a project like this, is that like a normal? And how much longer do you guys have to finish this house? Like when it's going to be ready?
The end of June. I heard.
End of June.
Yeah, the end.
Okay.
So basically, going to be like almost a year for a project like this.
Not quite.
Well, less than a year. Yeah.
October.
Yeah.
We bought the house
Can't really say October. It's
It'll be November.
January. They started in January.
Oh, they started January.
Because I mean, yeah, if you include all the permitting, yes, that will add to it. But if you truly start from swinging hammers, it was much shorter for sure.
Okay, so you may have already said this. I don't know. But
So here's sort of the before picture, right? You'll see that all these glasses on here were essentially the patio that was walled in.
Can you guys see this? What it used to look like from the street?
So where we were standing on in the beginning,
You got to see this. Just
up
to
on
appreciate it.
on the terrace, essentially, that's the inside of that house. And let me see. I might have a little video too.
Porch is new too.
Yeah, I mean,
As we start to walk around in a minute, I'll have him kind of identify everything they've done. That's one, to put it in context for you to see what it looks like before.
that picture was taken in that corner right here, facing the main entry door that you see right there. So you can see all those studs essentially came out, everything.
How thick those suckers are.
Then you got, this is Keenan and
So there's
Josh.
when the demo began.
Yeah. This is a day of aggravation.
So who is he getting ready to hit with that axe?
Yeah, that was Keenan. That's why I'm laughing with the mask on. You know, we just had a lot of fun. This is another day of getting some of the plaster out. Let's see.
But if you're watching this at home, I highly encourage you to go back and watch the replay video. It's a video, so it's taking a second to load. Watch the replay video.
I mean, we look like miners, essentially. And I've got a video. I can share that with you as well.
I'll throw it up on the webpage.
A little walkthrough, yeah. This one, I guess. Yeah, I'll make it silent. This is the beginning. So this is me standing on the front patio. And I'm kind of... Well, I figured out. This was actually on the front patio. This was all walled in. So you'll see the left side. This is the front door where I'm standing at. We already took that out.
That's where we were, yeah.
Yeah.
Doing the interview.
Then going inside,
and
there's another room. Do you need to pause it?
No, this right over here is where the permits were hung on the
exactly,
window.
Yes.
Yep.
That's the entire kitchen now. We took all these walls down. There was a fireplace
right
here.
Now.
Yeah. There's
yeah,
another.
The fireplace is gone.
Yeah. And that wasn't invented out, and it was used. How these people didn't die, I have no idea. But that entire floor, all these floor trusses were completely rotted out and termite infested.
Yeah, nice stainless steel stove.
So yeah.
Save the stove?
Yeah, somebody else. Yeah.
Put it in my rental.
That was worth the most, essentially. But what you don't see in this video here is the second house that was attached to it. I just didn't film that, I guess. But
yeah, the step down. It was a weird layout.
It was strange.
But if you guys watch the video, you will be able to see it. But give us a little tour.
Sure, yeah.
Show us around the property.
We can...
I'm going to follow you as close as I can with the camera.
We'll just start with the front one more time. So essentially, we took all these walls out.
Step there.
We did a DeRosa kind of deal, right? Too many walls. And as you walk in from the front door, you've got the living room / kitchen opening up all the way to the right. And talk about some design faults, right? This is what we did. You can see here, we originally had planned to put a window in here. And then we thought, well, where are we going to put the TV? Right? There's no other real space to put a TV, essentially. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a little swing arm or something.
Well, the new ones, they have when they drop down from the ceiling, smart homes.
Yeah, that would be the wow effect then, too.
Yeah.
But, so we used to have a window in there, and then we said, no, we need to have some space to put a TV in, right? Because everybody wants a TV these days, or at least a space to put the TV. Then on your left-hand side, this is essentially going to become an office. We'll put French doors in here. Doesn't have a closet. We've got 3 full bathrooms in this house. All of them will be tiled and have granite counters.
What's the square footage?
2,300.
Got real nice high ceilings.
Yeah.
How high are they?
What is it? 10? Probably 10, right?
Yeah, probably high.
Yeah, probably 10.
Most ceilings would be, that looks like a 9-foot.
Is it? Not 10.
It's a 9-foot ceiling.
Yeah, we'll go with 10. 9.5. Meet me in the middle.
Get your laser measure out, Don.
Okay, so you put 137 in it, right?
Yep.
Or you will. Are you on budget?
Yeah, we have to put a little bit more.
Talk to us about that.
Okay.
Well, for example, the tree, we knew we were going to clip some of the trees in the backyard, ended up taking all of the trees out. So that cost a bit more too. We're going to extend the driveway all the way around to get to the garage. That costs a bit extra too. We put an extra deck out there.
So what do you anticipate this thing selling for?
$375. That's what we're going to put on the market for.
So $375.
Yeah. We're
So
sort of
$370.
350, 375.
So you're going to be all in for about what?
So let's say, let's make it 150, 105, 255.
255, 250, 280?
280? All right.
And selling it for what?
375.
It's not a bad deal at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, I can live off it.
You say all in, are you including marketing costs and?
You don't include marketing. You mean like commission?
Yeah. So I work cheaply, right? Because we team up because I'm a real estate broker anyways.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, but you still have to anticipate probably an extra 3% some closing costs potentially. Yeah. We considered that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you'll see essentially the second floor is brand new. Well, let's walk up there.
This was a bedroom.
This is another bedroom right here, another full bath. Then you swing around on the bottom, there's your garage. We can look at that when we come back down and walk to the outside of the loft.
Okay. Yeah, this blown insulation looks great. I'm just going to pan around, let everybody see it. Wow.
Like a winter wonderland, right?
Wow. Now I see why it costs so much more. Wow. Nice job, Andy. Nice job.
This is going to be the master bedroom.
I'm so proud of you, man.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
It's great. It's great. This is the master, everybody.
Yeah, this is the master bedroom. And I think as an additional sort of wow factor, we obviously have the patio right here that connects right into your master bedroom. So you have an awesome view of the entire neighborhood.
Yeah, you do.
Right? And if anybody's ever seen Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo, I think we need to put a hot tub over here too. And somebody that will drop food in it.
Yeah, you might be a redneck if you have a hot tub on your front porch.
Just be careful when you lean against it, because obviously these are not the...
I just advise don't lean against it.
Don't do any of that stuff.
No.
But
So,
it's...
the basis for the patio here, was there any original housing or
No,
all
this
of
was-
this is?
This was like,
This is all brand new. It didn't exist.
check out that picture again. This was like a little,
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
like a little ugly Florida room looking thing.
It wasn't brick, but it was low like that.
You can see how...
Had an ugly little roof on it.
You
Yeah.
can see our other deal, the blue tarp, that's our next one that we're working on.
So that's yours right over there.
Yeah.
See it? It's the next project.
And then when you go inside, you've got the master. Where's the front? I see it.
See it right over there?
Yes, sir.
That's their next project they're working on. Great view.
Yeah, and we cleared it and...
So what is
this one is the master bathroom here. I guess I'll let you go in there.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a walk-in shower. We're not putting a tub in. We plumbed it out where you stand right now.
Yeah.
We plumbed it out to put a tub in there eventually if anybody wanted to, but we just wanted to have more space for whoever buys it. You know, so this will be the shower portion of it. You've got a double vanity right to your left. Of course, the toilet.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be nice. And then the room that we're standing in right now, that's the walk-in closet for the master bedroom.
You're in the walk-in closet?
I'm in the closet.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Josh is let that cat out of the bag.
This is going to be the laundry room for your washer and dryer. So you have it upstairs along with your master bedroom.
Nice.
Then you've got another, just be careful because there's no railing here, you've got another full bathroom to your left, and then 2 more bedrooms. It's hardy plank up here too.
It's just backboard style versus...
Yeah.
It looked like wood on the outside here.
It looks like it, yeah, but it's still hardy plank too, yeah. It's not. You got the cedar shake up.
So it's all hardy plank. It's just lap siding on the bottom, backboard style on the top.
Question over here. These are 2x4s?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
If this was 2x6 instead of 4, you could put more insulation in there. Yeah,
So
that's
just
more
the
money.
building cost goes up, right? So the code just asks for 2x4, so that's what we went with, yeah.
So most residential construction is 2x4 construction. You get into high end, you go 2x6, and then your cost per square foot goes up. Your build cost per square foot.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys got any questions while we're up here?
Why 2x6 walls over here? Between the bedroom area.
Which is kind of what Art was asking about.
Yeah, oh, I guess
That's
so.
because you've got plumbing in between those 2 walls, right?
Makes sense. We'll go with it. No, it's definitely because you have to
What do you guys think?
We can look at the downstairs area too.
Pretty nice, huh? For the price range?
Yeah, so we're taking offers. Anybody want to move in?
I don't think you're gonna have a problem getting it sold. We're gonna have to come back in June and see the finished product.
We'll walk around to the outside now so you get to see the house from the back.
We're gonna go check out the exterior in the rear apartment.
And again, just sort of be careful because there may still be some nails laying around. Probably start down here too. We'll be all right, Dustin.
Yeah.
Do you have any other homes in the neighborhood that are going to this extent?
But we're going to try to sort of set a new trend as well. The market has really been heating up and just going up too. So I don't foresee there to be any problem at all. But the mid 300s, yeah, they're already here. So an extra 25, we shouldn't have any problems with that. This part right here, I mean, if you guys are careful, yeah, just
step down carefully.
This is the big pecan tree I was talking about.
Wow. Yeah, I remember that now. Is that the snake shed there?
Yes, that's a snake shed, exactly.
I saw the video.
And then, obviously, as you walk around, this will all be
oh, wow.
to a driveway. You've got the two-car garage. And this was the second house.
This is a funky little apartment.
Yeah.
Tacked on back, and you're converting it to a garage.
This was the main door to get into the second house at the time. And then you had a little bit of, I mean, you can still see some of the 2x4s or 6x4s that were here dividing up the room. This was one room like that. And then you had some stairs coming up.
It was a functionally obsolete little apartment. It was very weird.
We found a dead cat behind the walls, and I think the skeletal remains are still over there too.
Yeah, let him rest in peace.
I mean, so you had a single room over here that was walled all the way up to the ceiling. Then another room that was essentially the living room for them. And then you had the kitchen on this level. You can see we took all the walls down, but that was another door leading to the outside. And that's all now going to become the garage.
Wow.
They're just pouring the...
Nice work, man. Nice work.
So on your pictures, do you have the before picture of this?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you watch the video, I'll walk through it with the camera.
Okay.
It's not a wide angle camera, but you can kind of see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
As best you can. I mean, we try.
Stay your driveway.
All around here to actually come in, yeah. Matter of fact, that deck was square. We took out a little edge just to make it easy for people to come around the corner. That was another thing that we did or changed after the fact, along with the TV board. Yep.
Still have plenty of yard, though.
Oh yeah, I mean it was a great lot. Level lot too. We liked it a lot. Then of course, yeah, that's the infamous shed. I put a rubber snake in there, and I waited all day for the sub to go in the shed, and as soon as he did, he jumped, and I was standing out there filming. So you gotta have a little fun.
Yeah. I gotta, you know Ron Dimmick?
I don't know.
He's one of our little plug there. When this is done, we ought to have a little get together over here and celebrate.
Oh, absolutely.
And have some, for your sip and flip. Yeah, exactly. I'm really proud of you, man. You've done such a great job.
Well, I mean, it was a team effort. I mean, Josh has got a full-time job, so he comes out on the weekends. I'm here throughout the entire week, just sort of harping on people, trying to get things done. And then on the weekend, we come together and just talk about what happened in the week, what's going to happen the next week, meet up with the contractors. So you ought to make it fun.
Yep.
It's challenging, and you're going to run into roadblocks. But if, like I said earlier, if you are bigger than your problems, you'll come out ahead of it.
Well, I'm suggesting we get together and have a little celebration, get some German beer. And
heck yeah,
yeah,
I'm all for it. There's
I know.
Arches Brewery. It's a microbrewery 5 minutes from here too, and might as well go over to the Porsche plant as well.
Yeah, I heard that's pretty close by.
Yeah.
So you guys got any questions of what you've seen so far?
How do you juggle your time between this and your realtor job?
So I'm really sort of rededicating all of my time into just investing. And this is not a front against any buyers, I just don't like buyers. So I'd rather list properties, so it works out really, really well. And the other rental properties that I have, they keep me plenty busy. So I'm a broker, and I use just that to list the properties and deal with potential buyers, but I don't show properties to buyers anymore, not unless they're friends or family. So to answer your question, it works out really well. I've got all the time in the world.
So how are you juggling the multiple properties that you are doing?
That's fairly easy right now because they're fairly close by. They're all within 5 to 10 minutes. We've got the one right across the street, 2 more on the other side. But Josh and I, we just did one that I found a couple of months ago in Riverdale, Clayton County. It really didn't do a whole lot. So while he was working his normal job, that's what I do. I just drive out there, I make sure the repairs get done, and you'll end up, if you schedule it right with your subs and your contractors, you shouldn't have any problem.
Yeah, but they're always the problem.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And sometimes, in the evenings, it sort of comes into like a crying fest, right? Like, can you guess who didn't show up today? Right. And then you shake it off again.
Yeah.
It is what it is, man. It's part of the job.
You have a great attitude about the whole thing about if your problems are bigger. That's the right
You do have
attitude.
to.
So that you don't mentally get locked out. Now, I'm not going to ask you specific questions about your financial arrangement because that's your private business. But I do want to know, did you all formalize your partnership or your work relationship?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we have an LLC together too, and we're equal partners in that as well.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, Josh doesn't look on his timetable and say, "Well, listen, I work 2 hours more on Saturday, and Andy, you were off eating barbecue." That's not it at all. I think Josh and I really work well together. We've got a good sense of humor to sort of play hand in hand. And Josh has certain strengths that I'm not good at, and then I've got other things that he might have some challenging times with. So it works really well in that team aspect. That's what I would encourage any first timer to possibly do, to try to just team up with somebody, and if it's only to have somebody to cry on.
Right.
I will tell you from a partnership standpoint, if you're going to get a partner, make your partner different than you. Make them have different skill sets than you, because if you have the same skill sets as your partner, meaning you like to do things, they like to do things the same way, and then you don't like to do this and they don't like to do the same thing, well, who's going to do the things that neither of you like?
Right.
You're always going to be in need.
Yeah, so just be careful when you go into, don't just go into a partnership willy-nilly.
Right.
You got to make sure that when you're doing that,
it's complementary.
It's complementary.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
and
you
can do one at a time and see how it works out.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was working out because you guys jumped into a few more.
Partner using land trusts, joint venture agreements. You don't have to go all in and create an LLC together. You can do an individual property with put it into a land trust, and you're both 50% interest in that land trust. Test it out. You guys work together well, or gal and guy or whoever, then do a next one. And the next thing you know, when you do multiple times, then you say, okay, we work well together. Let's formalize this thing under an LLC.
And Josh, one last thing. So talking about good cop, bad cop, that actually works really well, because there's days where I get on the contract and we have sort of that come to Jesus meeting, and then the next week, it may be Josh, or Josh calls the contract and says, "Listen, you have no idea what Andy just told me, and he is furious," right? And so it helps sort of navigate through the entire process.
We had a question over here.
Yeah. So I don't know if you already mentioned this, but can you share what is your vision for the backyard here? I know you said you're going to bring the driveway around. You took out some trees.
We're basically just going to clean it up. We're not really going to do a whole lot of landscaping in the back at all. But at the front, we'll get new landscaping, new sod and so forth. It's not as big either. So just for the curb appeal purpose, that will get done. The back of it, completely cleaned out. We'll probably just mow over the weeds and grass over there too, and then call it a day. Yeah.
Now, I had a question for you, but I was holding it until Don got out here. Are you going to turn this into a smart home?
Yes, and so then we're still sort of, I really want it, and this might be the good cop, bad cop thing again, right? I really want it because I've got a smart home at my house, and it's just a cool feature to have, and it's the wow factor too, so.
Well, you can do them pretty inexpensively with certain things.
Exactly, yeah. So we may just
some lights and some
do the lights
and maybe a doorbell.
Yeah.
Security system.
Security system.
Yeah, security.
You know, motion detect.
Vacuum, you know. Yeah. Make it an autonomous home. Yeah.
Well, hey, just since you're standing here and we're talking about it, some of your suggestions. How much extra does that add to the cost, and is it worth it? Do you get their money back out of it?
Okay. You won't get your money back out of it per se. You're not going to go make this a smart home and people are going to pay more money for that per se. What it will do is it will differentiate you between two homes that they may be looking at. So when you walk in and you can say, Alexa, lights on, and all your lights come on, or you can dictate which lights you want with your voice, that's a cool feature. And it's not a very expensive feature. So depending on how many lights you want, like if you look at your light switches, and that's really, you don't have to have the actual light be a smart light like the Philips Hue lights that change colors. You can put regular bulbs in there, but change out your switch. And it's a switch that you can buy it at Lowe's, you can buy it wherever, Best Buy, and it just replaces the on-off switch. And the only difference is that device that you put in there is Wi-Fi. It has a Wi-Fi transmitter. So it connects to a hub that you can, once you get a hub, now Alexa has, they've built one of those hubs into the unit. They used to have separate. So now Alexa has that hub or a hub built right into the base of it. So you can do away with that hub. So now less devices. So when you do that, basically install all of your light switches. So how many do you think you have in there?
Oh gosh, I would have to lie to you. I really don't. I don't know. We have probably a couple each room, essentially.
Okay, but you don't need to do every room.
Yeah.
You can do
But you can do just for the kitchen, for example.
You can do the main living area. Like when you first walk into a home, wherever your light switches are, whatever they're going to turn on. You can do that, you can do your kitchen, so on and so forth. And maybe it's 5. Let's just say it's 5 switches. They're about $35 a piece. And if you buy the hub that goes with it, that's another 70 bucks. And then whatever Alexa device that you buy, or Google Home, whatever. It could be anywhere from $29 up to $250, depending on the device you buy. Yeah. So that's really the wow factor, is being able to voice activate your lights. But you can then throw on a thermostat. You don't even need to do both. You can do one thermostat downstairs to give them the idea that, hey, this is how it's done. You can do a Ring doorbell or something, have a camera set up. That's beneficial because you can check on your house, keep an eye on your home, even while it's cost for the Ring doorbell. They range anywhere from it doesn't have to be Ring, but it's anywhere from $160 to $199 for the doorbell. That's a camera. You know, like if you have, and I highly encourage them for people who have rental properties. So for example, like you won't be able to see that, I don't think, but like this is my Ring doorbell. I have a floodlight that goes above my vehicle, where my vehicles sit, and that's it. So you can see, you can access, you can see I can see the front of my house. I can actually hit the siren and it'll do a siren, or I can actually talk to someone, say, hey, get away from my cars. Same thing goes with my
See, I do a
doorbell.
whole lot of mischief with that. I already do that with my wife. When I'm gone, I turn the lights on and off, and she texts me. I was like, "Quit it."
Like, this is the front of my house where my doorbell is. So when somebody rings my doorbell or someone comes and there's motion, it goes off and automatically pops up on my phone. So I can sit there and talk to them and I can answer it. If I had a garage door opener on my phone that's Wi-Fi driven, I could actually say to the UPS guy, "Hey, do me a favor, can you put that in my garage?" And I can open my garage door, he sets it inside my garage door, I close the garage door, and then...
It goes all the way, you can set it all the way out to the street.
I can,
ring
yeah.
doorbell, so that if anybody walks up in your yard,
Exactly,
it turns
that's
on
what
and
I
shows
do.
you.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
If
I
anybody
do too.
walks anywhere in my yard, that's
Yes.
where my perimeter is. If you walk anywhere in my yard, something's going on.
So you say it's fairly inexpensive to do some of these upgrades.
You could do almost an entire house for $1,000. I mean, and that's everything. But I would say you could probably get a decent amount for $300-400.
And those are wow factors you can see right away and take advantage
And then
of.
what I would do is, if you're going to do that, put yourself up some acrylic signs that tell people what is in there. And you could also go, there's a device on Amazon that's motion sensor that you can record your own voice. So it sits near the front door. So when somebody walks in the front door and it senses the motion, it'll come on with your voice and it'll say, "Welcome to the future. You've just now stepped into the state-of-the-art home that has this, 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 and this."
That'd be sweet.
Yeah. So,
Are you doing some of this to Lancelot?
Probably. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't do it to every home, but if I need a little.
Snellville?
Huh?
Snellville?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'd like to see some of this in action.
Yeah. So the thing is, on a rehab, when you do it, you have to have internet. So you have to have your internet installed in your home and be up and running. Now, some people say, "Well, can you use a hotspot?" You can.
At least temporarily.
But that hotspot better be hidden. Because
Absolutely.
it'll grow. It's easy to put in someone else's pocket. It grows legs. I've had it
Yeah.
happen. It'll grow legs.
I'd hide it.
So you might want to hide it like in the attic or something where you have a plug that you can plug it in and just turn it on, leave it on.
Why would they do that in one house and not the next one?
Why would I?
I asked you first.
Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Just choice.
Cost, choice.
Cost, choice.
Right.
A lot of times for me, they don't stay on the market very long. So
It's not always necessary, huh?
yeah, if I think a house needs a little extra help, I'll put that stuff in. But if I think that, the house we did in Lawrenceville, it lasted a day. It didn't need any of that stuff. So, it lasted a day.
So that's why I was asking Andy.
It's not going to bring more money.
Yeah. You put all that money, for example, into insulation, you cut little corners elsewhere because of the expense. So you got to figure out where you're going to get the best bang for your buck and the most wow factor.
Yeah.
And what falls within your area of expertise.
Yeah, on the insulation, those are just some of the things that Josh and I talked about that we probably will end up doing with other properties too, depending on where we end up.
After
with
seeing
that.
it, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
To do it. But you're absolutely right. Once the sheetrock is up, the new buyer won't see it, so we definitely have to make them aware of it.
Will they be able to peek up into the attic and see it?
What I would tell you.
Yeah, they should. Yeah.
Because when I saw up there, I was like, wow.
I
said,
take a
wow.
Picture. Take it and clean it. Put a nice clean section, like make it nice and neat. Take a picture of it, and then do a before and after, and then go to Kinko's and have them do that foam board. Do a foam board cutout and hang it on the wall.
Yeah.
Like a picture.
Good idea. Yeah.
So
You definitely
they
want
can
them to see that.
So they can see.
Impressive.
High efficiency.
Yeah.
So they can see that they can't see it, but they can see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Any more questions from the audience?
I did have one. Andy, when you guys were getting started, did you consider alternatives like maybe doing a little bit less of a rehab and trying to hit, say, a lower price point? Was that an option, or did you just think?
Well,
we need to go
here
all
we
the way?
simply just looked at the overall square footage and what has sold here. I think the rehab, Josh and I talk about it too. It's like, hey, we wouldn't mind getting a $30,000 rehab every once in a while. It would be nice instead of this, because this is truly elaborate. In this case, it was sort of necessary just to get that price point. Just a ranch-style home that's maybe 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms wouldn't have done it, you know. So we did sort of that craftsman style with the 2 stories to get the extra square footage. But yeah, it's all situational, depending on that.
So the house right there sold for $230.
The one next door.
Right next to it.
So in order for us to do that, we'd have had it done. We'd have still had it done $100,000 worth of work to this house to get it to that point. Is how bad this house was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
So then it would have made sense to me.
Yeah, so once you start, you're kind of committed to it. You're all in.
How much extra value does the second level add?
I would hope so. I mean, you know, the main level gives you the biggest bang for your buck as far as square footage goes, right? Then the second floor is just a little less, and then the basement typically, when I talk to the appraisers, is about 25–30%, depending on how much you pull it out.
So this was 230 over here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a rehab, but honestly, because we walked around it, they didn't let us inside. But you can see this one doesn't even have gutters. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff.
I did notice that, how the shingles are kind of hanging off.
Well, this one doesn't have any gutters yet either, but it will. You know, so
Right.
It will have gutters.
Oh, okay, you will have gutters.
But there's just certain finishes that we don't think they did, and they still got.
They still got 230.
Good
Yeah.
price.
Yep, gotta have gutters.
Cool.
Any other questions?
Do you plan on doing any staging?
Yes.
Staging was the question. Are you going to be doing any staging?
I look mostly.
Staging? Yeah, we're probably gonna stage it. What does it cost these days? $1,500 around that.
Depends. You go from between $1,500 to $3,000, depending on who you use and how much you stage.
We're not gonna stage all the rooms. You know, the living room area essentially, master bedroom, maybe a little bit in the bathroom section too, and that's it. But all the other bedrooms.
What I recommend for staging is kitchen, master, bathrooms,
Most ideal would be
living area. That's it.
room to
Not the bedroom.
Master.
Master.
Yeah, people don't. You don't need to stage all the bedrooms. It's a bedroom. It's 4 walls, a window, and usually a closet. You don't need to do that. People can have a vision on what they're putting in there. And besides, if you put too much stuff in a bedroom, it closes it in. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to make those bedrooms any, because a lot of times what we do is a lot of the bedrooms, the secondary bedrooms are smaller. So you don't want to make them even smaller with a bunch of furniture.
All right, any other questions? Doug?
Yes, I was not here earlier. I got here a little late. Did you build on the original foundation, or did you redo the foundation, footer and foundation?
No, it was the original one. We had to take a lot of it out and replace it. We had to take a lot. This is actually a crawl space. So all the floor trusses, they had to be replaced because they were rotted out and termites.
But you were still able to use the footer and foundation?
Yes, yeah. Some of it had to be replaced.
But I don't know if y'all remember, he had to get a variance for this side.
Yeah, for the left side.
If he changes the footprint and doesn't go back over the existing, he's got to go for a variance for that as well.
What did you change over here?
Well, we didn't really change anything. This is still the original. This is the original wall. We bumped this out by another, 5 feet or so? But this is the original wall. But the variance called for, because you have to have a 5-foot setback, and this is obviously not 5 feet here.
And it wasn't grandfathered in?
Exactly. Well, it was then, through the variance, they did that. They said,
Okay.
I mean, they weren't going to deny us, but you still have to go through the motion.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
It's good to know.
Yeah, because the house is already there. They really can't deny it.
The deck in front, the porch in front.
But they make you jump through some
They
hoops.
make you jump through hoops to go through and make them feel important.
So when you apply, what do? You just say you're gonna put, you tell them what the scope of work is gonna be, or
You have to have a plan that shows where the end, where your property line is, and then there'll be a setback, and you'll put a proposal for a variance for that. You know, we're asking for a variance off of the setback by 3 feet.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank you.
Well, not really a closet, but you can, store some other stuff, your garage, your yard tools or whatnot.
I had a question for you about the garage. Since we're standing here, looks like you're closing in that door.
Yes.
Are they going to have to go out to the deck to get into the house?
Yeah, no, they can either go, because there's going to be a stairway right here to get it to the kitchen. You can't see it.
Ah,
See, this is the
I
little
could
lip.
not see it. I can see it now. Now that you pointed it out to me.
Just be careful, because there might be some potholes.
All right, it does have another
Yeah.
door over there. Okay.
This is the original right here.
Yeah.
This is the original.
So you can put some brooms and stuff for your workbench in there, or shelving.
So what was the purpose of bumping it out the extra 5 feet?
Just to give it more garage space, essentially. If somebody has a bigger car, they can still park.
And you weren't required to get a variance specifically
No.
for that?
It must be going out right at where these two meet. Where they,
Where do they have the furnace and the water heater?
Furnace and water heater on the inside. The furnace, you may have seen it, is actually on the second floor and in the attic. It's already in there. And then the water heater is going to be on the main floor, right behind the electrical panel in that other room. That's where the water heater is going. I'm sorry, no, the water heater, it goes in the garage. You already have the tubes coming down.
You guys got any other questions? All right, one at a time, one at a time.
That will still be finished. No. This will still be framed in the right way. It's not going to.
Can you repeat the question? I don't think I got it on camera.
He wanted to know if that's a finished job.
No.
If I did saw a house that was built, they had a room built like this, and it was sitting on block on gravel. And if there was a heavy snow on it, the whole thing would have collapsed.
Oh my gosh.
And I caught that when I went outside, how the block turned, and realized there was no footer underneath the block. The whole thing had to be taken down. The inspector wouldn't let it was never inspected. Second question is right here in this corner where the driveway's going to come around, you've got your deck. It doesn't extend out because of the driveway. I'm assuming.
Exactly, yes.
So, do you plan on putting a deck here or a pad, a parking pad?
Well, this
or
one,
a concrete pad.
there won't be anything. This is essentially just grass, right? So this will just get removed. You already have the back deck right there, and it will just swing around. Did I understand the question?
Yes, what I'm looking at is the cosmetics of it. When you're sitting on your deck, all you have is the house next door. If you extended it out to the end, you'd have a view, better view of the side yard.
We got to wrap up at 3 o'clock.
Well, I think.
And that's a wow.
Yeah, well, because actually we had a square deck before, right? You can see that little corner.
Right.
It's now a pentagon, no, hexagon. Yeah. We had it extended out a little further too, but just because space-wise, that we made it a little bit smaller, we didn't bring it all the way out to make it easier to bring it far out.
All right, well, just,
Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, well,
All right.
you want to say a few closing comments, so come over here, get in the shot?
Sure.
You guys gather around real quick.
All right, well, thank you all for coming, for watching at home. We're going to do the next on-site is 2 weeks from today. It's the first and third Tuesday of every month. So do we know where the address is?
Chrissy, can you look on the, you know what?
Yeah, while she's doing that, I'll tell you about some other things that we have coming up. Tomorrow evening, you noticed Josh and Andy and Keenan and whoever and Alex, and they're all part of the PPG group, Property Protege group. That's our group coaching. If you'd like to come and attend and see what it's like to kind of jump on board with an arts in it, and so if you want to jump on board, we meet every Wednesday from 7 o'clock until usually 11. Okay, so come join us. It'll be at the Unity, I mean not the Unity Church, the City of Lights Church. What's the address?
3125 Presidential Parkway.
Presidential Parkway. We'll be there tomorrow starting at 7 p.m. in the big seminar room tomorrow. Also, if you want to learn how to do one of these big bad boys, I'm doing a 3-day event in June on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. It's a 3-day event. There's going to be a bus tour. We're going to go out into the field. We're going to go to Home Depot. We're going to show you all the pricing, you know, everything you need to know to be able to tackle one of these things. Sign up. It'll be on the Atlanta REIA website somewhere. Just look for it. It's going to be a find them, fix them, and flip them, I think is the name of it.
It's not actually on there right this second, but it will be by the time you watch this replay.
By the time you watch the replay. So, other than that, do we have the next on-site?
She's looking it up right now. I just want to remind everybody, again, tomorrow night is the PPG at the City of Lights, 3125 Presidential Parkway. We should be there on the first floor when you walk into the building.
Right where the general meeting is usually held.
Yeah, sometimes we're upstairs, but I believe we're going to be on the first floor.
To the point where we're outgrowing our spaces.
Yep.
June 5th.
All right, so the upcoming date for the next on-site renovation group is the first Tuesday of June, which is the 5th. It's in Chamblee. It's at Rui and Lorraine Beato's property.
Yes.
And it should be finished.
Yes.
So we should get to see a finished property.
It's 4204 Longview Drive, Chamblee.
All right. It is 4204 Longview Drive, Chamblee, Georgia. 4204 Longview Drive, Chamblee, Georgia on June 5th at noon.
And then the one after that will be Lancelot, which will be the long-awaited Lancelot.
And just as a little heads up, Frank Iglesias said we could come see one of his new builds, new construction.
There we go.
Talked to Amy Ransdell today. She said we could come see one of her properties. So that's one of the reasons we're bumping up this to twice a month, is because we have so many different properties to go look at. And we would like to have one of you guys host the on-site renovation group soon. Okay? We'd like to see your properties, especially this guy right here. I was just pointing out some of these gentlemen are every one of our on-site renovation groups, so we want to come out and have you host one for us and come see some of your work for sure. This guy right here, definitely, Mr. Link. So again, we do this. Everybody at home who might have joined us late, we do it on the first and third Tuesday of every month. We'd love to have you come see us live. Or watch us on Facebook. We really appreciate it. Tell all your friends about it. If you guys are interested in learning to fix and flip, this is a great place to do it. So I want to thank Andy and Josh for having us out once more. And I didn't mention.
Come out when it's actually all done now.
Yeah, we talked about when you were inside still. You know, Ron Dimmick does Sip and Flip.
Yeah.
They will go out and celebrate when they bring another house online. I thought I'd kind of borrow that idea and come have a keg party here.
Hey, if somebody brings the green egg, we got plenty of pecan wood.
I've got a green egg. We can get a keg, and we can come out here and celebrate your first major rehab, but your first major rehab. I mean, this is I've been impressed with what I'm seeing so far, and I know you've got a couple others going on in the area. So maybe when we come back, we can maybe pop in and see a few of those too.
The next one, Walnut, that's the one where we just completely demoed the entire house. That was a lot of fun too. We didn't do that. A crane did that.
Yeah.
But those all.
So you and Keenan didn't get the sledgehammers out and do that yourself?
One, no. I wanted to. Josh actually did partially on one of the walls. But yeah,
that would be good.
Fun. It's demo day.
Yeah, it is.
It really was. Yeah.
Well, good job, man. Congratulations. 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 All right, for you guys at home, we appreciate you tuning in and watching us today. We'll put the replay up on Facebook and YouTube real soon. Thanks again, everybody, for being here. We really appreciate it.